Hey YouTube, today we are answering one of the toughest questions you're gonna face as an entrepreneur. How do you price your product or service so that you don't push yourself out of the market? Stick around if you've been struggling with this one. We're about to dig in. Hey guys, we're getting a lot of great questions from you in the videos that I've been putting out, and so I want to take some time each week to address those, and that means that we're going to have a Q&A Tuesday every week. So our question this week comes from It's Therese. She says, new sub here, love your videos. What is the lowest percentage margin I should be asking for each item? That's a really good question, It's Therese. So this is a constant question I get asked as a CFO. Really, how do I price my product or my service so that I cover my costs, but I don't scare my buyers away? I don't want to price it too high or I'm not going to sell anything, and I don't want to price it too low or I'm going to go out of business. So what do I do? This is actually easier to fix than you might think. There are really two pricing strategies that we want to talk about today. We're going to need a whiteboard, so let's go find something to draw on. All right, guys, this is what we're looking at. So as a business owner, you really only have two ways to go here. On the left-hand side, the y-axis is our value, the value that we bring to the market. And on the x-axis, on the bottom, that is our cost, what we're gonna charge for our product or service. You could be one of two kinds of businesses. You can be the red dot. This is a low-value business that doesn't charge anything for what they do. This is the Walmart kind of business model. We call it the low-cost leader. The other option is to be up here and to be the blue dot. The blue dot has high value and charges what they're worth. Now here's the problem. Lots and lots of businesses try to come up with a third option. The third option is this. They try to be somewhere in the middle. They say, well, what if we add lots of value and really wow people, but we try to be the low-cost leader too? So they come in here, and they try to be somewhere in this space, okay? Now, everybody is competing in that space, so there's no way for you to get noticed. And the problem with that is that you run out of money because it's expensive to be high value. Because you're trying to be up here and offer lots of wow, but you're trying to do it for no money, that's not a very sustainable business, guys. Stop doing it. Either be the low-cost leader or the high-value differentiator, one or the other, but don't be in the middle. That is a recipe for death. Let's talk about the high value differentiators for just a minute. This right here is a Leica M6 camera. It's built for people like me. I am a photographer on the side and I love shooting film photography. I like shooting digital as well, but film is my passion. I love it. This camera caters to that very specific niche market. There aren't a lot of film photographers out there, but for those of us that shoot, this is the camera that we talk about most often, the Leica M6. Go ahead and look it up. This is not a cheap camera, guys. In order to buy this, just the body, not even the lens, just the body can be anywhere from $1,200 to $1,500. That's a lot of money to pay for something that does not have an LCD screen on the back. I take a picture, I can't see how it looks until I've developed the film. But this camera has so many bells and whistles for a film photographer that we love it and we're willing to pay for it. All right, guys, it's time to crunch some numbers. So let's say this is your product, the dog. What markup would you like to charge first? Let's start there. And what I want you to do is follow this formula. So you need two numbers in order to come up with the right price point for your customers. Number one, we need to know what it costs us because we don't want to charge less than the cost to make it. So let's say that the cost was $10 for material and $7 for labor. That's what it costs to make each dog. Now, we also need to come up with a markup. I want you to go off of gut feeling here first because we're trying to help you value your time. If you charge again, 2% markup for this dog, you're not valuing your time very well. If you charge 4,000% markup for your dog, people are gonna think that you're nuts, probably. I don't know, maybe you're in a really nice industry. But let's just start with 50% here, okay? So here's where we're at, guys. Our cost is $17 and our markup is 50%. We're gonna take our cost of $17 and we're gonna divide that by 100 minus our markup, okay? So 100 minus 50 in this case. So this is what I've got. I've got $17 divided by 100 minus 50. So if I reduce that down, man, we're in math class. Who wants to do math? Now I've got 17 divided by 50, right? And if you bust out the trusty old calculator phone, which is 0.34. Now you've got to times that by 100. So if I do that, really all I'm doing is moving the decimal over 2 places, and that gives me a sales price of $34. There are a lot of tools online that you can use to figure out where you should be pricing your product and how you should be performing financially. One of them is called BizStats.com. So here it is on my screen. Now there are a lot of tools out there that you can spend money on. This one's actually free. The website's garbage, I know, but the data is good. If you want to spend money on something that's a little prettier and gives you more in-depth information, BizMiner is probably the place to go. I think they charge $89 to about $100 for a 3 to 5 year report, and that's pretty awesome. But today we're looking at the free version, which is BizStats. So scroll down here, and in the bottom where it says annual sales, put in whatever it is that you currently sell. Put zero, I guess, but if let's just say you're $1 million company. So you're doing $1 million every year, and let's say you're a corporation. Click submit. Now it's going to ask you what industry you're in. If you're selling this dog here, I'm going to say that maybe you're in the retail trade. That's probably the best description here. And then it gets a little more refined and says, well, what kind of retail business are you in? Because it's a weird thing, it's not something common. I'm just going to put, I don't know, miscellaneous store retailers. And then we'll click on it one more time. And we come up with a list of figures. Now, what this says is that there are sales, cost of sales, and gross profit. That's what we're looking at here. So let's pull up an Excel spreadsheet real quick, and I want to run some numbers with you. So we decided the price of our dog was going to be $34, right? And the cost was $17. That means our gross profit is our sales minus our cost, which is $17. Our gross margin is actually a percentage. If you take our gross profit, the $17, and you divide it by the price of the dog, you come up with 50%. Now that's, again, the margin that we had shot for in the beginning when we were trying to value our time. Let's see if we're even close to what our industry says we should be at. If I go back to the BizStats and I look at gross profit right here, it's coming in at 49.78%. Pretty stinking good. We made a good guess there. What that means is that we're pretty much valuing our time the way most of the firms in our businesses are valuing our time for retail stuff. Now, if you add more value to your customers than the average company does, because you've created something unique here that serves a specific niche, you can charge more and get a higher markup here. But that's the concept, guys, and that's how you compare yourself to your industry. I hope this video helped you guys today. If you have any questions in regards to how to price your product or service, go ahead and leave them down in the comment section below, and I will be answering each one of them. Also, don't forget to click subscribe. That means you're going to get access to all of our future videos to help you master your company's finances. And if you have questions more specific to your business, I will be happy to answer them in next week's Tuesday Q&A. Until then, I will see you next time.